Mr. Ron Perlman, correct? Everyone, now you're going to be asking questions for him, so we'll do that in a few moments. Don't line up yet. I'll ask him some questions to start, and then I'll let you guys know when you can come up to the mics and line up. Please ask just normal questions. Don't ask him for a hug or anything where you have to come down and do something with you. Just questions you want to know, and he will answer them for you guys. So I guess now, give it up for the star of Hellboy, Sons of Anarchy, Pacific Rim, Mr. Ron Perlman.
Vince!
Welcome, Mr. Perlman. How are you today? It's great to be at a Comic-Con where you can just enter a room and then everyone will just cheer for you being a celebrity. It doesn't happen all the time, right?
They must think I'm someone else.
They're a fan of your work, fan of all this stuff. Now, if you want to get a picture with Mr. Perlman, you want to get something signed by him, he'll be over in the hall later today and tomorrow as well. Now, let's get started with some questions, if you don't mind. Is there anything today you don't want to be asked about that people should not ask you about?
Pretty much anything you want to ask me, it's not okay.
Come on.
Bring it on, yeah.
Other than that, we're good.
Good, okay. So you've been a lot of crazy roles out there. You've been a biker on Sons of Anarchy. You've been the Hellboy.
The Beast.
Are there any roles out there that, like, what's been the hardest to take on that's most different from your everyday life? Like, are you a biker in real life?
No.
No. Was it a hard role to get accustomed to like take on that persona of like a hard biker?
Beast.
Yes. What was, no seriously, come on. Not everything I say is fucking funny.
Oh,
See, this is what happened to me in high school. Every time I asked a girl out on a date, she'd think I was joking. You want to go out with me?
no.
You're so funny.
I'm not.
But it worked out now, yeah. Did you have what did your deep voice?
Is your name Argentina? Well, don't cry for me, Argentina. Alright, no, that's a song. I'm just kidding.
Uh-oh.
What was the fucking question?
Well, what is a hard role to take on? What's been your hardest role that's not like your everyday?
Clay was hard for reasons that you wouldn't think. Like, Clay was like, I can't really play a role unless I see something in the character that's redeeming about them. Even if they're serial killers, there's got to have some sort of psychological thing about them that is compelling. And I really had a hard time finding a way to make Clay sympathetic, so, or somebody who I completely was able to understand enough to play him, because you really do have to, the first step in playing a character is the ability to understand his psychology so that you can kind of slip into it. So even though he seemed very much like me, because there was no makeup or anything like that, he was challenging. And I took a lot of heat for making him sympathetic about it, because they wanted me to just be bad to the baboon.
Heat from the producers? They were like, we don't want a three-dimensional character.
Yeah, exactly. What are you doing wrong?
Now, Ron, you've got like one of the signature deep voices of all time. Like when we hear your voice and things, we know it's you. When did that come on in life? Was that something you got at the age of 8?
It was about the 38th year of my career as a smoker.
That's the key to a long voice acting career, is smoke.
His voice ended up down by his balls. That is some really good scotch. Maybe what I am today.
So I think what we're saying to all the children out there, please smoke a lot and drink scotch, and you one day can be a voice actor. So what is you do a lot of voice acting, what is the difference between voice acting and regular acting? Do you have one you prefer? Is there one that's more challenging? Is it more challenging being in a booth, just talking to a microphone?
Well, the voice acting is the only acting I'm able to do without pants on, which is very near and dear to me for obvious reasons. they make you wear clothes. Well, they make me wear clothes. Actually being photographed. They pay other people to take their clothes off. They pay me even more to keep mine on. Which is why I like to do voice acting so much, just because, you know, next time you watch one of my animated roles, just think of me naked from the waist.
A lot of messages going out to the children now.
That'll cure you from Teen Titans in a hurry.
Teen Titans, no. Go somewhere else. Now, Ron, you were in... I'm not going to look below the table to see if you're wearing pants now. I'm just going to assume you are, Ron, even though we can't see.
I walked up here, didn't I?
That's right. You were wearing them then. But a lot's happened. A lot's happened in the last 5 minutes. Ron, you were in... He's not sure.
I'm not even sure. I slip out of these things so easily.
You were in Star Trek Nemesis. You played...
This is my favorite thing, watching her translate my shit.
Yeah. Now we know what shit is, yeah. So you were in Star Trek Nemesis. You played the Reman Viceroy. Anybody watch that movie?
That was another franchise I shut down.
Feel the day. It's coming back now. I'm bringing it back.
Well, you know, after a certain period where, you know, the entire generation dies off, and they'll bring it back.
They had to let it rest for a while after that. Reman was wearing no pants.
There was a long period where I shut down pretty much every franchise that I was in. Like, I did the very last Police Academy movie. You'll never see that shit again. I did the very last Alien movie. That'll never happen again. They tried to resurrect that. They said, no, don't you understand how Perlman stunk it out? I mean, don't even go there. So.
What was it like being in a franchise that's that historic, that's been around so long? Was it cool? Have you always been a Star Trek fan, or was that something that just was another job to you?
It was cool. It was very cool. It was cool.
Nice.
Wasn't that cool? It's alright.
Is it hard acting under so much makeup or so much weird costumes of some of your characters? In Pacific Rim, you were the guy with, you know, a lot of things going on. Yeah. A monocle, one of your best monocle characters.
Yeah, not a lot of makeup in Pacific Rim, but yeah, no, it's, whatever. Thanks for giving me that answer. It could have been your whole fucking...
How long does it take to get in a character like that, where you're in full face?
Did any of you bring your kids here? Because that was a huge mistake.
Some of them from home. It's too long.
They look so young and innocent.
They're learning a lot.
Just remember, only Uncle Ronnie can talk like this.
Do people you ever run into on the street like assume you are some of the characters on TV? Like they ever assume you're an evil biker or a guy with a really heavy hand?
Yeah.
Has it ever happened where they expect you to be that and you're not? They're like, oh, you're actually nice.
No. That's never happened.
Do you have any family? Do you have any family in the business?
I can't talk about that.
Okay. No.
I'm being sued right now, but
Multiple members of your family?
I can't talk about that. I've been served with a restraining order, a gag order. No, I'm kidding, I'm joking. I have a beautiful family. I got a wife, I got a couple of kids. I did my part.
Punishing the population, yeah.
I did my part. What about you people? You all look like you have kids. I know that guy does. Right there. Those poor kids, man, they got a lot of therapy. Therapy in their future.
Do you ever want to get your kids into acting? Have you ever thought about pushing them towards this business, or is it so scary that you wouldn't want to have them in it?
My daughter is an actress, and nothing I could do could talk her out of it. And my son is in the music business, so he has no desire to be an actor. He's very smart, much smarter than most of the Perlman family.
The blue chip of the family. All right, we're going to open the questions up to the floor now, so if you'd like to ask a question, Mr. Perlman, please come up to one of the microphones in the aisle. If you're not the person standing in the microphone, please kneel. That will help us allow people in the back to still see him while he's answering questions. And we'll just go ahead and start over here. You, sir, what's your question? Is that on? That's the question. It seems like the answer's no. So, do we have someone who can turn that on? There might be a little button right around the other side, below the LCD. Just turn that, flip that up. See if that works. All right, say something.
Hello?
Yeah, it's working now.
Okay, got a random question for you. Do you remember being in a movie called Down? It was a killer elevator film.
Yes.
What was it like to be in that one?
It was really disconcerting because I pressed up. Not only did the elevator go down, my career didn't recover.
There hasn't been another killer elevator movie since. He killed that franchise as well. Excellent. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Next over here.
Yeah, so how was your work with the cast of the Charmed?
Charmed?
Charmed, you know, with the...
They were all pains in the ass. Yes. Where are they now? You know what I mean? And I'm here.
Yeah, so how was your work with the...
We can all tell who won that one.
And Charmed. Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. Right over here.
Tampa, baby. Tampa rules, man. I went out last night. I'm not going to tell you where or how much I drank. You can get pretty fucked up in this town.
That's what Tampa's good for. Right over here.
Sorry about that, those kids again.
They need to know where the good booze is in Tampa. And we'll
Only Uncle Ron can drink and talk about it.
Yes, Transformer.
As Slade from Teen Titans, what brought you to that role? I think your voice in that show is one of the most iconic of that character, and it's made it. It was better than the comics for me for that character. So, what?
Who's better than me or James Brolin?
You.
Good answer.
You hear that, Hollywood? Do me a favor if you really believe that. Write your congressman, because that guy takes every frickin' role I'm supposed to get.
Thank you very much, sir. Right over here.
I don't remember your question, but thanks for asking.
I really enjoyed your
Is
work.
that little puppy real?
No, it's not real. It's Toto.
So then why is there piss running down your arm?
I really enjoyed your work in.
I'm so sorry, man. This whole thing is degenerated. It's all because of me. You guys are fantastic. Family audience.
Step up to the mic if you dare, people.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Sons of Anarchy, and I'm a Harley rider, and I was wondering, do you own a bike, and what kind?
I own a Road King Harley.
Excellent.
Yeah, I said to myself, what kind of bike? If Sinatra rode a bike, what would it be? Got me the Road King.
Excellent. Thank you.
Keep some cannolis in the back.
Thank you very much. Now, did you know how to ride a bike before taking on that role? Was that something you had to learn?
I couldn't even ride a Schwinn. No, I had to learn. I forgot it the minute I learned it. I'm very proud of the fact this is true. And I don't tell this to just any old...
This is only for Tampa.
Yeah. I don't tell this. I'm not proud of this, but actually I am. I'm very proud of this. But for 6 years, I played the president of the most badass motorcycle club in the United States. And what you and the watching audience didn't realize is I, Ron Perlman, never got the bike out of first gear.
Now that's acting, because it looked good in the show.
Because they said, okay, but Ron, you probably want to accelerate here. I go, I don't know how. I just took the course that told me how to get it going. True story. 6 years, Clay Morrow, first gear only.
Right over here, sir.
One of my favorite movies has always been the 1984 classic Ice Pirates. And I was just wondering, if you had any memories of that, especially the great cast that was in that movie.
I have no good memories of that. No, I'm just joking. Listen, man, Robert Urich and I turned out to be very good friends. He died way too young. He was a beautiful man, really beautiful man. And we had a ball working on that because it was such a degenerate movie. I mean, we all knew, like, this is going straight to video. And video hadn't even been invented. We knew we were ahead of our time, you know what I mean? Like, we're crappy into the future, 20 years.
Made a new genre, direct to video. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Next, right over here.
First, thank you for your Twitter feed. I was born in Argentina, and my question is, working with Guillermo del Toro, what do you like about him, or what makes him stand out compared to other directors?
He's the smartest 9-year-old I've ever seen. He's read every book in the world, and when you're with him, he behaves like completely like a 9-year-old. He has, I think this might be true of pretty much every Latin American country I ever visited, but they're the people who take themselves least seriously of anybody on the planet. You know, they're not self-indulgent, they're not egotistical, they don't sweat everything, they're just like very quick to laugh. Even people who have no money or nothing, I mean, they have all this dignity and all this joie de vivre. And so Guillermo is a genius. I mean, he's a bona fide genius, but he's also got this adolescent sense of humor, which counteracts the fact that, you know, when you're with him, you don't think you're hanging out with a guy who could teach in Harvard, you know, but you could, because he's that brilliant. And of course, his movies are like no one else's. I mean, he's a complete original. No one else's movies look like that. No one else tackles the human condition quite like Guillermo does. You know, the juxtaposition of humans versus monsters, and the monsters are always the good guy. So, yeah.
Thank you.
I'm very blessed for that relationship.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Over here, ma'am.
So I'm a huge fan of Sons of Anarchy, but I want to know, what was your favorite moment when filming the series with everyone, either behind the scenes or actually on set?
On Sons?
Yeah.
Payday. It's usually my favorite day. Favorite experience on every job I do. Payday. Don't let anybody bullshit you that we're in this for the love of it.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
It's all about the Benjamin. You know what I'm saying?
Right over here, sir.
Hello, big fan, and you're still the best Hellboy ever.
It's a pretty short list. And I bet you if the other guy would say, you'd say the same thing to him, right?
No.
I love you, baby.
I'm gonna run off his question because my question's about a Guillermo film. It's about Blade. So, in Blade 2, you have this moment where you go up to Wesley Snipes and you go, "Can you blush?" What do you mean by that?
Well, you know, usually when people blush, their skin color changes, right? Should I go further? You want to paint you a picture? I think that's what I meant by that. It's like, if you were blushing, how would we know? I don't want to belabor this, you know, because, you know, somebody's going to start boycotting my body of work.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Over here.
All right, Uncle Ron, the boys were wondering how many minutes it took you to get the Hellboy makeup on.
It took me more minutes than the last time I said a bad word. No, it was 4 hours was a normal day. get ready to work, and then there were days where Hellboy had no shirt on, and that was a 6-hour day. And you can tell that I insisted he wear a shirt a lot.
Thank you very much, sir. Right over here, ma'am.
Hello. With your recent part in finally doing the Fantastic Beasts franchise, what was it like finally being part of such a now iconic and pop culture phenomenon?
That was a thrill. That was a thrill. Being on the stage where they shot all of the Harry Potter movies with the same crew that shot all of the Harry Potter movies. I mean, it was a different generation because now it's Fantastic Beasts. You know, it's another J.K. Rowling's invention. But it was the same crew, same stages in London where they shot all the Harry Potter movies. And on top of that, I had become the world's biggest Eddie. I'm such a big fan, as I can't remember his last name.
Redmayne, Eddie Redmayne, yes.
Thank you. I thought it was useless, but...
You said, and you haven't killed the Harry Potter franchise yet, it's still going, so that's...
That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm on a roll. Didn't make a fantastic, but Eddie Redmayne, you know, when I walked on that set and he was there, I was a fanboy. I mean, I was like, oh my God. I mean, I loved him from the minute I saw him, and I loved him in everything else since. And you hope that the guy is as cool as he seems on screen, and he's just so nice and cool and everything. That was fun.
Cool, thank you very much. Right over here, sir.
Hey, how's it going? So with Hollywood doing a lot of remakes and revamping of different things, specifically Hellboy and even Blade, as an actor, how do you feel when they completely redo something? Is it like a bad feeling, like, oh, maybe I did something, or I didn't play the character quite as I should? Or is it like, hey, they're really just trying to do something different with it, I did awesome, and you just go from there? Like, how do you view it?
I'm a big, I have a knee-jerk reaction to any remake. I think that it's a bad idea.
Yes.
Number one, it's cowardly. You know, it's like, you know, people are so afraid of losing their jobs that they're just going to take a known franchise because it's already a brand. And instead of taking a risk on something original and new. And then number two, you're usually doing a remake because the first one was so good, and the remake always sucks.
Hell yeah.
So you're like taking somebody's great memory and then pissing all over it, man. So I have about 150 more reasons why I hate remakes, but I think I'll just stop at those two.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do you even bother to watch some of the remakes that are out there that have been films that you've done before that have been remade, or you just stay away from them completely to not anger yourself?
Well, no one's ever remade a movie I've been in, that's for sure. Because usually they remake classics, so, you know. I watched Cape Fear. Cape Fear is the original Cape Fear with Robert Mitchum and Gregory Peck. It's one of the great all-time thrillers ever made, black and white noir film. And so Scorsese's going to redo it with De Niro, and you have to watch it. And it was great, but it was a third as scary as the original. And in the original, you saw no violence, whereas in the remake, you saw everything. And you say to yourself, okay, well, what's more effective? What you plant in an audience's mind, or showing them graphically everything, and taking all of the imagination out of it? And so, that's one of the corrupt things of, like, you know, where we've evolved to. Like, I can't imagine somebody coming into a room like this with their, you know, men, women, children, and using foul language. That's like...
Who would do that? Yeah.
Our society has just right down the fucking tube.
Thank you very much, right in the middle here.
All right, I've got a question for you. Going back into nostalgia, how did you enjoy doing the Beast series?
As in Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah. You played
Yeah, no, I remember that one. That was great. That was a truly thrilling period because it was the very first mainstream thing that I participated in. Got rewarded with a lot of goodwill by the industry and the public at large. There were awards that were given out and stuff. And it was a pleasure to work in that world that Ron Cosell had created. You know, this almost Shakespearean, Jonathan Swiftian world, which you very rarely get to see prime time on network television.
And the other thing is with that was violence was only done as violence was needed. Otherwise, there was a lot of other, you know, working the problems out. But that's where I first actually saw you was in The Beauty and the Beast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Mark, over here, please.
So in Sons of Anarchy, Clay has like a very specific role. He does very specific things. So if you had the opportunity to change the direction of Clay in a way you wanted to go, what would it be?
The only problem I had with Clay was, well, that's not true, I had a few problems. The main one was that I thought that he was going to achieve redemption before he died. I thought that he was going to be able to come back. As Jackson's character was ascending toward corruption, you'd watch Clay, you know, the humility of being, you know, shunned by his world and his community, taught him that he needed the lesson of humility. And I would like to have seen him have a kind of redemption moment right before he died.
Like between Clay and Jack, between the two of you?
Just going around to everybody and saying, this is why I did what I did. And you know, redeeming himself as like, because it would have been, you know, I mean, I think what they were trying to do was they were trying to show that power corrupts. And even though you saw this pure character in Jax all these years, the minute he ascended to president, he started making really twisted, bad decisions. And it would have been nice to see the guy who had been in that position learn the hard lessons of life, like how many enemies have I made, how much damage have I caused. And I thought that would have been interesting to have Clay redeem himself and then boom, go out, you know. Because there was no place left for him in this world.
Thank you.
Maybe in 2 years they'll remake it, and then they can do that version.
My phone is buzzing now. I think maybe they're casting a remake as we speak.
You've done so many roles. Are there any roles out there that you have?
Can I get a quarter milk?
Are there any roles that you've passed on that you regret passing on at the time?
I never passed on anything, bro.
Okay.
I'll do anything for money.
Erica, excellent. You right here, ma'am?
Okay. You can tell us the truth. We won't tell anyone this is Tampa. We'll keep your secret. Have you ever taken anything from set? And if so, what did you take home with you?
I took a couple of Quaaludes one time. I used to have a thing when I first got into the business that I would try to take the one thing that had a very special meaning to me and only me. So my very first film role was Question Fire, and my character was the only one that had these two kind of sticks in his hair, almost like a Japanese samurai, except 80,000 years ago. So I took those, and no one knows what the fuck they mean, except me. But it made me different from all the other cavemen. In Enemy at the Gates, I took the silver teeth, you know, that Stalin knocked out. So I take these things that kind of are windows into what made the characters memorable for me and special for me. I tried to take the gold shoes from Pacific Rim, and I got all the way to the car, and then a couple of security guards arrested me. I went to county prison for about 8 months. Got my salad tossed. And so I stopped taking paid my debt to society, and I learned my lesson.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Right over here on the left.
I was wondering, as an actor, is there any role that if you could have played, which role would you, oh, I would have loved to done that?
Why would you ask me that? Oh, I'm kidding. You said, because when you said as an actor, I said, don't talk to me. No, that's right, I am an actor. I forgot for a second there. Cable. Now, I didn't see the new Deadpool. Is that out already? Yeah. So we've seen the Cable? How was it?
Not as good as it could have been.
He was good? Or was he great? See what I'm saying? I mean, I don't usually go around like...
You were the fan choice on Facebook.
That's right. Yeah. But I don't usually go around playing that game, but there's like, that discussion lasted for over a year, and there were these surveys and these votes and everything about like, who's the perfect Cable. And toward the end of it, people were asking me in interviews like, are you going to weigh in on this? And so my favorite tweet that I ever tweeted was, come to think of it, Cable should be playing me.
Good afternoon, and thank you for coming to Tampa to do a Q&A with us. I was wondering, what role would you say are you the most proud of having done? Something that you can point to and say to your kids, I loved doing this.
I have, this is really going to sound so stupid, but I have like too many to pick one or two.
Okay.
I could pick my most recent thing that I'm like, I was really, really proud of Hand of God.
Amen.
Because that was a character that was really challenging. Guy was almost out of control emotionally the whole time. And then I was really proud of a movie that I produced. It took me 5 years to get it done. We started at one time, lost all of our money, had to shut down and start it again. But we got it done. It's called Asher. No one has seen it. I don't even know how to tell you to go see it. I don't think it's on I don't even think you could buy it on iTunes. What movie can you not fucking buy on iTunes? My movie that I stayed with for 5 years. But if you get a chance to see Asher, I'm about as proud of that as anything I've ever done.
I definitely will, thank you.
And I recommend for future producing, you should release it on things. That helps. That helps get it out there.
Yeah, well, there's one thing producing the movie, and there's other thing releasing the movie, and that's the part of it I haven't quite figured out.
Gotcha. Slip right over here.
Hi, Mr. Perlman. I first of all like to thank you for being a part of my nightmares, because my dad showed me Children of Men when I was 8 years old. Or not children, City of Lost Children. That scared the living shit out of me. My question is, working on the Fallout series, you got any stories from that, or what was your favorite parts of being Ron, the narrator?
When you narrate something like that, you go in the booth, and the role was basically just to introduce it first, so I maybe was in the booth for like 45 minutes. The most surprising thing was a few years later, they said, hey, we're getting a call for you to narrate this thing called Fallout 2. I said, that rings a bell. I go, and I thought it was a piece of shit when I first did it. This thing's going nowhere, man. And then I found out that they were going to do a second one. And now we just did our 5th or 6th one. What do I know, right?
Number 6.
Right?
16 times the story.
So, don't ask me, I voted for Jill Stein.
Did his part. Yes, right over here.
No, I didn't vote for Jill Stein. Don't let that shit get around. But I really don't know shit from Shinola, so I'm the wrong guy to ask.
Right here in the middle, sir?
What do you think of the latest Hellboy movie?
I don't think of it at all, my friend.
great job with Clay because like you could simultaneously like hate him and still like feel for him, which I think is beautiful. But my question is, if you could pick another role to play on that whole series, who would you pick?
On Sons?
Yeah.
Gemma. I think I would have knocked that shit out of the ball.
Well, thank you. Right here in the middle.
I mean, try to imagine it, you know? I know it's a stretch.
Yes. How did it feel playing the Lich from Adventure Time? Did you like playing that role?
Yeah.
That character sent me chills down my spine every time you talked.
I've never seen it, but people tell me it's really good. Is it really good? I mean, not just the Lich, but the whole series Adventure Time. Like, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's all right. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for that ringing endorsement. Everybody's gonna run out here and go, I'm never gonna see Adventure Time.
Right over here, sir.
What was your least favorite part about making Hellboy?
Least favorite part,
You saw my interview last week, didn't you?
No.
It kind of went a little bit viral. Last week I was in Raleigh and they said, what was my least favorite moment on Hellboy? And I said, well, one time, and I'm only repeating it because, first of all, you obviously didn't see it. Second of all, it's true, but one time I ate some bad fish. And you saw Hellboy's costume, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got like tight leather pants. He's got red latex, like skin tight shit that he has to pull on. He's got a fucking tail that he has to strap on. Comes out the back of his pants and literally weighs 27 pounds. So if you eat a piece of bad fish and you get the runs, it's a nightmare. That was definitely my least favorite moment on Hellboy.
Did you continue doing the scene? Mid-fish accident?
Well, whatever we were doing, we had to stop right there. And I remember Guillermo going, what happened to Ron? Somebody get me Ron, you see her a second ago.
And then we get makeup for 6 more hours to get back here. Thank you, sir. Right here in the middle?
Yes, Mr. Perlman. This is so awesome meeting you.
Are you filming me right now?
This is real life?
You know, we have copyright laws.
Anyway,
even in Florida, my friend.
So in Hellboy 2, The Golden Army, there's a scene where Hellboy and T.B.C.C, were singing Can't Smile Without You. How much did you laugh at that scene?
I mean, it was, I did most of my laughing when, it wasn't in the original draft, but when Guillermo presented us after a few drafts with the fact that, me and Abe Sapien were going to get drunk on Tecate beer and then start singing Barry Manilow songs. I laughed so hard. And that, I probably laughed for about a week. Luckily, by the time we filmed the thing, we all had our shit under control so that we could actually film it, without ruining it. But the thought, you want to know about Guillermo del Toro? He has a red demon from hell and a blue fisherman singing Barry Manilow while the two of them have just gotten drunk for the first time. What other comic book director in the world would ever think of that shit?
Right Hey, thank you very much, sir. All right, I've got bad news. I missed my 5-minute warning, so we are out of time now for questions. I'm so